Hello, today is January 7, 2024. I'm your self-sufficient farmer from Nigeria. Welcome to my update from the farm. I bring you the update today with our two latest goat kids that were born on the 6th of December. So they are just over 4 weeks old today, but they're very healthy and growing very strong. It's been some time since my last update, but the journey has been very interesting and fulfilling. We have continued to enjoy the benefits of farming, knowing where my food comes from, and everything, all the plants we have on this farm are all organic. We don't use any chemicals. So in my house, we are eating good quality food, and that's very good for our health. So it's been a very good and interesting journey of learning a lot. I've learned a lot more about agriculture and farming, and I continue to learn. There is no end to learning in this business. And like I always said, the best teacher you have is the internet, and especially YouTube. I learn most of what I know from YouTube, and I put them to practice. So welcome to today's update. And remember that the reason I do these updates is for you to be a farmer. Also, join me to be a farmer. There's nothing stopping you. You can start wherever you are with whatever you have. Okay, guys, you can go now. We're still at the stage of building our herd of goats. We've had 2 baths since the last update. The Sokoto red male that died had impregnated one of the females, and he gave birth to this brown one. It's a twin. That's his twin over there, one male, one female. And they were born on the 6th of September, so that makes them 4 months old now. Those are the 2 of them. And the reason why we're using the Sokoto red breed as the male and the West African dwarf as the female is to have the benefit of the 2 breeds. So these guys, these 2 brown guys are going to be bigger in weight, height, and the amount of meat on their body than the normal West African dwarf. And they are going to have the properties of the West African dwarf, a lot of the properties which are resistant to the diseases that are common in the forest areas, which the Sokoto red does not have naturally. And the other 2 that were given birth to on December the 6th are these 2 white ones. Their father is a West African dwarf, and it's also pure white. It's one of the kids that we bought with a mother when we got a new set of goats in February last year. I didn't want it to breed, but it became mature and started mounting the females, and one of them gave birth. And 1 or 2 others might also be pregnant. We are watching. But after that, I decided to get rid of it in December. I sold it in order for it not to continue breeding, because our policy is to breed Sokoto red male and female West African dwarf. So it was violating our policy. So I sold it. The goats are doing well. So we built our herd up to 10 now. We currently have 10 goats. This January, we are in January already. This month, we are going to get, we plan to get another Sokoto red male to replace the other one. And the reason we had to wait this long is usually better to get your new stock of goats in the dry season rather than in the rainy season. There are many diseases that are prevalent in the rainy season, and for that reason, you want to minimize your risk. So the goats you get in the dry season are likely to have less diseases on them. Of course, that doesn't stop you from pursuing the best practice of quarantining the new animals that comes to your farm. So that's the update on goats. So we're in the chicken compound. Since the last time we have created this fence to be able to exclude the goats from the chicken if we want to. There's a door there, and it's because the goats were really disturbing the chicken feeding time. Whenever we are feeding the chicken, the goats will come and rush their food before even the chicken can eat. So the update on the chicken is that we started with buying day-old noilers and rearing them to table size, and then butchering them at home for eating. We did that 2 times. We bought 2 sets of Noilers packet, day-old packets. A packet contains about 50 day-olds. Usually they put 1 extra in case of mortality. Okay, so we did that twice. But the Noilers, for some reason, did not lay eggs. Okay, part of my plan is that the chickens should lay eggs and breed so that we can stop buying day-olds. So when I observed that, I decided to stop buying day-olds and then get native breeds. The native chicken, get male and female, because they are better brooders. They lay eggs and brood. So when the Noilers were reduced to 6, we got 6 chickens, native chickens, 2 male and 4 female. And after they had finished their quarantine period, which lasted over a month, we introduced them together. And within a week of introducing them together, one of them started laying eggs. If you can see it, it is sitting on the eggs right there. Okay, it last time counted a few days ago, it had laid 7 eggs, and now it's sitting on it. Okay, so that's really, that makes me happy. That is what we want. So we're going to have more chicken on the farm. Now, another challenge that we have with poultry in Nigeria now is the extremely high cost of feeding. Chicken feed, it's gone up so high, and that's another reason why I had to get the natives over the Noilers. The natives are very well adapted to foraging for food on their own and not necessarily waiting to eat the feed. Okay, though we do give them some feed, but we also supplement with other things. And I've done a lot of research to what farmers are doing all over the world, and I've got at least about 6 different plants that farmers feed their animals around the world. And we have experimented with 2 of them, and our chickens eat them. And those 2 are the inside, the soft inside of a plantain trunk. Okay, if you chop it into bits like vegetables and mix it with the feed, your chicken will eat them. And the second is a kind of plant that grows on the surface of water in swampy areas, and it grows naturally on our farm here. It's called duckweed. Our chickens, we've experimented with that also. Our chickens eat duckweed. Ducks also eat them. A lot of poultry eat duckweed. So we have it on the farm naturally, but we are also creating a system where we actually grow duckweed in prepared places. Okay, I will show you what duckweed looks like. So my plan is that when we have perfected our all the various 6 or more plants that we know that chicken eats. Another is sunflower, and I've just planted sunflower. When they have matured and we have enough of them on the farm, we will increase the number of chickens we have. So this is what duckweed looks like. We did an experiment to grow duckweed inside these buckets, and it's been successful. Okay, the middle bucket is not very successful, but this one and this one have been very successful, and we keep harvesting out of it and it grows back. So what the thing with duckweed is, any quantity of it you have on the surface, if you harvest not more than a third in a day, if you harvest not more than a third in a day, by the next day it will have grown back. Okay, this is duckweed. It looks a lot like another plant that I have seen on the internet in foreign countries called azolla, that is also said to be very good for our animals, but it's not azolla. This is native to our environment in southwest Nigeria, southern Nigeria. We are also preparing fodder for our goat. So just last week we started preparing ground to plant fodder for our goats, because now that we have just 10, we have enough leaves and grasses around the farm to feed them. But as we grow more, as their number grows more, we are not likely to have enough. So we have to plan ahead. So if you're a goat farmer, always plan ahead for the how to feed your animals. For any animals, actually, goat, sheep, cattle, plan ahead. So I just wanted to show you, I want to show you some of the areas we've prepared. Okay, so this is a new area, for example, that we've prepared. And yesterday we planted mucuna. We planted mucuna here. This is another area. We planted mucuna here. There is an area over there by the wall. And then all around the shed over there, we've also prepared those places. We planted Baccaria there. It's a grass. Then the third fodder we are planting is lab. It's also a legume like mucuna. In November, I acquired these 2 geese. The seller told me they are male and female, so I hope they are. And after serving their over 1 month in quarantine and treatment, I released them into the same enclosure as the ducks. So they share the same enclosure with the ducks because they are also waterfowls. geese are waterfowls like ducks. These guys are more or less like pets for me. You know, I've always loved the beauty of geese, you know, and that's why I've always wanted to have a pair. And here they are on the farm. I love them. Look, looking at, they look so beautiful. But I hope that they are male and female, and they will give birth to more geese, and we'll see what to do with those. Either butcher them for food or sell them. Since the last update, we have been restructuring the farm better to allocate spaces, enough spaces for different plants. So we had some vegetables that were growing in various places all over the farm. We decided to bring them and concentrate them in this area. So on their own different beds. So these two beds contain the shoko, which are just growing. They're at the early stages. Okay, we planted the seeds a few weeks ago, and this is water leaf, which in Yoruba we call bure. So this is water leaf in this bed, and on the next bed we have ewedu, jute leaf, ewedu. I just love how green these ewedus are. Very, very green and lush. Okay, so we have them doing very well here. And over there we have other vegetables. We have tete here, which that's the Yoruba name. But in Lagos, the English name we call it is green. Okay, it's a popular vegetable. Okay, and over there we have matured shoko, which my two guys are harvesting right now for today's harvest. So in conclusion for today, I mentioned the benefits I'm enjoying by being a farmer at the beginning. In addition to the ones I've mentioned, that is eating good food, good quality food, organic food, it's also very good exercise for me. Working on the farm is very good exercise. Staying in the sun is healthy, very good exercise, and also good for my health. And, you know, walking the earth, using my hands on the earth, it's this joy that one just derives from it. Also, I'd also like to mention that like I said, I've been learning a lot. And some of the things I learned really surprised me. Okay, I'll give you two examples to show that in Africa, or let me not generalize to the whole of Africa and say in Nigeria, we are sitting on a lot of natural wealth that many of us are very ignorant about. So when I was trying to get the seeds for the goat fodder, the seller, who is another goat farmer, had a list, and I picked one of the ones I picked was Mukuna. And in researching further about Mukuna, I discovered that Mukuna is not a plant that is strange to me at all. I just didn't know that was the botanical or English name. Mukuna is what we call werekwe in Yoruba. Mukuna is werekwe. The beans inside the plant of werekwe is Mukuna. Or the whole plant is Mukuna, but I bought the beans for planting. And this was something that grows everywhere in Yoruba land, When we were young, it was everywhere. And when you went to the farm or the bush, you had to avoid this thing because if the hair of the fruit gets on your body, it's extremely painful. Okay, so we avoid it. So that is what Mukuwerekwe is. And further, as I was doing my research, I discovered that apart from goats eating the leaves and the beans also has medicinal value, right? And this is something that is native to our environment. That's number one. The second thing was that one person I knew in the US mentioned to me that, do I know that what we call concon in Yoruba, sponge, that we know, the native sponge, that if I go to Amazon, I should go and check how much it's sold for. And I went there and I found that each concon on Amazon is sold for like $5. And I did some research to find where they were coming from, and they were coming from China. And this is concon, right? Some in Yoruba land we call it concon ayaba. This thing is native to our environment. It's almost a weed, right? And when we were young, this was the only sponge we bought, or we didn't buy it. We just went to the our farm, backyard farm, to pluck it from the wall. You know, this is what it looks like. And right now it's been packaged by the Chinese and it's on Amazon and been sold for $5 each. This is konkayaba that grows on every wall around the southwest Nigeria. So there are Nigerians, let's learn from this. There's a lot of wealth around us. We just need to open our eyes, do some research, do some packaging, and sell them to the world. So thank you for listening to this update. And I hope you will soon join me on the journey of becoming a farmer together. Have a great week. Bye.